Hello everybody, this week I am living with the Range Rover Vogue SDV8. In my last video I gave you a nice walk around of the exterior and interior of the car, talked you through some of the specifications of this particular model and the prices involved in buying a Range Rover. Now, I'm often asked by a lot of people to help them source a new car. It just seems to be something that happens, and that's often people on the internet, friends, and as well family. Now, as it happens, my sister is in the market for a new car, and she wants a small 4x4 to help cart her and her new baby around the place. Obviously, this was the natural car to bring her, so I present to you on the internet for the first time today my sister Michelle, and also baby Skylar. So, but the one other thing that Michelle really wants to be in life is a gangster's wife. You do, don't you?
Don't tell Andrew that.
That's her husband. I think he knows now. I think he knows. If he doesn't know by now, I think you two need to have a really serious chat.
I've only got 2 dead bodies in the back of this today. So.
Well, you can get loads more, because what do you think?
It's massive. I don't think this is quite the small 4x4.
No, I know you said, can I bring you an Evoque? But I thought, you know...
Let's go for the whole hog.
Why not? Do you want to start her up and then so foot on the brake and usual?
Yeah. I feel like I'm on a double-decker bus, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The seat is so high. That's the sort of thing you want me to say to you. Oh, Christ! Jesus! Just had a coronary.
Sorry, Skylar.
I'll be one of those dead bodies in the back.
There you
Do you
go.
know what, I'm huge, so they just have to get out of my way. aren't
Exactly.
they?
That is the Range Rover mentality. You've got to remember, you are
Can you
bigger.
turn the heating down a little bit?
Yeah, you are bigger than everyone else. Do you want a heated seat?
No, I'm alright, thank you.
You are bigger than everything else.
So they're just going to get out of my way.
Exactly.
Plus, they normally think range
So,
drivers are a bit horrible, don't they?
Take a left.
You kind of do. You fill up the road, don't you? Actually.
Yep.
Because when I sort of follow them, I know they are big, but you don't seem to feel like they do take up that much. But you are filling the lane, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
I can see in the mirrors you are.
Yeah. So you've previously had a Duke,
Yeah.
and you've now got a regular sized Golf.
Yeah, and don't believe when I told you a Duke is the worst family car in the world.
Yeah.
Couldn't even fit the pram with the seats down the other day. We tried it.
Yeah. So you are on the look for a new car.
Yeah.
Now, if I know anything about the internet, it's that you can always rely on them for decent, honest, sensible advice.
Yeah.
So what are your actual parameters for your next car?
So, well, I've narrowed down to a few cars actually. It's got to be a boot. Number one priority is a boot.
Yeah.
It needs to have a bigger boot. Obviously, the Golf boot is really good, but we can't fit anything else in other than the pram.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves us stuck then, because we've only got the back seat, the one back seat to put any of her stuff on.
So for family trips, it's not easy.
Yeah, exactly. The minute there's Andrew in the car, we're kind of stuck for going away anywhere with her.
Yeah.
I do really like the Golf. I think it drives nice. And now I've got lazy and quite like having an automatic, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like an automatic. I don't want it to be I could get out and walk quicker than a car. That's the trouble.
You want some go in it?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's got to be, you know.
Yeah.
I want to whiz away from the school gates as quick as I can.
Yeah.
So it needs to have boot, not be too slow. Also, obviously the Golf is so economical. I'm only paying
You're alright, you'll get past.
£30 a year road tax.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to have anything too expensive.
So
Boring. It's a bit boring, really, what I'm looking for, isn't it?
Well, no, because I think there's going to be a lot of people in your situation that have had sort of hatchbacks and things before, and they were fine, and now the baby comes along, and it's not just the baby, is it?
No,
it's the baby plus, yeah.
And also, I think what I really struggle with is it's all very well and good getting a bigger car, but you've got to park that bigger car in a normal car parking space and open your back door wide enough to get a car seat out of it. And people are really inconsiderate when parking. Even if you've got, like I've got the baby sign at that window so they know that she is there, they will still park right up against that door, even at angles, and it's so difficult to get them out. So you kind of need a car that's big enough but small enough at the same time. So
You want a TARDIS?
yeah.
So what are the cars you've narrowed it down to?
Nissan Qashqai, because I did like the drive of the Duke. Renault Kadjar, Sportage. We do like the look of the Evoque, but a couple of people have said again the boot's not great, but I haven't actually seen a boot.
No, the boot's rubbish, I assure you.
Yeah.
So our father used to have an Evoque many years ago, and I teased him mercilessly for it. You just put your foot down, you just all the way. There you go.
Moves, doesn't it?
It does. So yeah, he had the Evoque, and he had the Defender before. I was going to borrow that for a film shoot. Then he changed it for an Evoque, and I thought, oh yeah.
Whee! Just give my daughter some car sickness.
Yeah, great. You're going to clean this car. If she messes up the press car, you're cleaning it. So yeah, he then got the Evoque, and the boot of it was useless.
Yeah.
Like,
so we've
no
heard
room.
that the boots aren't great.
Yeah, well, I had a 3 Series, E46 3 Series at the time. That had a much bigger boot.
I do really like the Audi Q3, but again, I'm not convinced the boot is going to be big enough. But I love them.
Esther, my girlfriend's dad or stepdad, has one of those, and yeah, it's not a particularly big car. It is like Evoque sized.
Yeah.
I can't remember how big the boot was. I'm not sure. I looked at it, but yeah, that's the problem. Then you go to a Q5, and the Q5 is a big car again.
It's a really big car. We walked past the Audi garage yesterday having a look at the two, and it's what we said, kind of the Q3 size is good, but then you compromise probably on your boot again, don't you?
Yeah. I must say, you seem to be quite comfortable driving this car.
I'm not at all. I'm pooting myself.
I think you're doing really well.
Where am I going?
Let's go.
I have no idea where we are, by the way.
Yeah,
considering
that's
we're like
fine.
a mile from my house.
Yeah, let's go straight over. You clear this way.
Does that go out to Elmswell? Quite, it does go, doesn't it?
Yeah. So 4.4 litre V8 diesel.
Nice. I dread to think what the road tax is on that. See, look how boring I've become worrying about road tax.
Yeah, but I guess these are the things you have to consider.
It is, yeah.
The only thing I will say,
different things now.
it's actually quite good on fuel for what it is. Well, it's doing over 30 to the gallon.
I think, yeah, because the trips I do, I generally find, obviously, I end up with rubbish fuel economy.
Yeah, you just round town and so on.
Yeah.
This is a difficult car to park.
I
will admit that it's not
I'm
easy
hoping
to
we're
park.
not going anywhere to stop.
No, don't worry. I'll do the parking. I'll do the parking.
Yeah, there is no way. So that's the other thing is I think you do get lazy, don't you? Yeah, you're a learner, you can get off. Oh God.
You got no sympathy, have you? I want to point out, right, the last time I let my sister drive a car was about 10 years ago, and it was an Audi R8, the first gen V8, and she got to 30 mile an hour and just started screaming, and that was in a perfectly straight line. So she is much improved as a driver, and clearly now arrogant to go with it as well. Do you know that it gets bigger as well?
Which really gets bigger.
Well, I shall show you. So, we got no one behind us. So you pull up to this and just sort of stay still, basically.
Yeah. Why is that doing that? Oh my God.
Now you're in off-road mode. So let's head that way. I'll keep an eye out this way.
It feels much heavier for being in off-road mode. Much heavier.
I mean, there's a load of different driving modes. You even got like rock climbing mode and all sorts of stuff.
It feels much like, I don't know.
Do you want it back down to normal?
Yeah. Get me back into WAG mode.
WAG mode.
Yeah.
So do you find it's a fairly easy car to drive then?
I do actually think it's a very easy car to drive. I would not want to park it anywhere. I've just assumed I'm going left here. But did you want me to go right?
Yeah, try and do it right. See if we can make the turning. You right?
No, I'm going back because we're not making that turning.
All right, well, you got reverse your camera.
See, now that's a good camera. The Duke had a camera.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I do like that the wing mirrors
move down.
Yeah, tilt down. That's really, really good. See, it's all little things like that I think make a big difference.
You clear this way, quite happy. You're all right. Just go for it. You're in a Range Rover. Screw it.
Yeah, they do make a big difference to me when driving.
Do you like being high? So all the cars
I really like being higher. Yeah, that is a big thing to me, and that's why I liked the Duke. Because I wanted to be higher. So Andrew's Golf R, I notoriously could not get on driving it because it was so low. The driver's position was so low. I don't know whether it's because I'm short, and then
You're
it's
not
really
that short. How tall are you? Because people will need to know.
5'4".
That's not particularly short.
No, but see, in the Golf R, it was such a low driving seat that I really struggled to see the bonnet. Now my normal Golf TDI obviously is fine. It's a much higher seat, and I can see the bonnet, and I can't believe you've taken.
Are you sure that's not just good? See, now the other problem that Michelle has. How tall is your husband?
6'4".
6'4". See, there's a foot of difference.
Yeah.
So, do you need like memory seats and things? Do you find that quite important, or do you not worry between the two of you?
His car now has it, so it's been quite handy, but it's not that much of an issue.
And he's driving an M140i. Have you driven that?
No.
Do you want to drive that?
No.
No, you don't like it?
I don't know what it is. I think I'm a bit scared of it, to be honest.
You're scared of it?
Yeah, because we had a 1 Series years ago, didn't we?
Yes.
Obviously, it's very old.
First gen 1 Series 5-door hatch, 118i or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hated it. I absolutely hate it, and then someone's put a cone in the road.
Yeah.
I absolutely hated driving it. I really, really disliked it. I could not get on with the front wheel. No, rear wheel drive, isn't it?
Yes.
It's rear wheel drive. I could not get on with it.
Interesting.
And I really struggled with that car, and I hated it.
Let's take a right here.
And I think it's put me off. It put me off BMWs completely.
Yeah, clear this way.
Until Andrew got the 4 Series.
And they had a 435D X-Drive.
Which was lovely to drive.
Oh, so you did drive that?
Yeah,
I never drove that.
Times.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely to drive. I even drove it back from Stanway one night when Andrew ended up in hospital. I had to go collect it.
Is that when someone tried to take his ear off?
That was was the ear. Yeah.
He plays football semi-professionally, and somebody elbowed his ear, and it nearly came off.
It did. Yeah. It looks. Yeah.
It's pretty grim.
It's a good scar to show people.
Yeah.
And I drove that back from Stanway, and I really, really liked that car. So I did like BMWs again after that, but I haven't driven this one.
So that's interesting, because I do not like the 4 Series to drive.
Really?
Yeah,
No,
I think it's too big.
It's a big car, and it took me a while to get used to it, but actually, yeah, I really liked it in the end.
So you're really natural at this talking stuff on camera, is he?
Oh shit, James.
You're not. Oh, you're going to get me demonetised though if you keep swearing.
Sorry.
You're a rubbish parent. Look at this. You're teaching your child.
I'm not meant to swear in front of her. I'm trying really hard, but you forget when she's in the back. Out of sight, out of mind.
That's nice, isn't it, for a child? That's really nice.
Oh no, there's a cyclist. I get extra points.
You do not get extra points for hitting the cyclist.
Please don't put that in your video.
Oh, that's going in the video.
No. Yeah, it's a big car. It's a very smooth car, I must say. Like, gear changes are really smooth.
You like all that, like, yeah. So do you think you're just always going to have autos now?
I think I am now. Yeah, it's one of those things. For my journey to work was part of the reason I wanted to change to an automatic, because I'm just sat in non-moving traffic for about half an hour.
Yeah.
And it just used to drive me mad, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, a manual in that scenario is
exactly.
not very fun.
It just drove me mad. So I'd never ever considered getting an automatic, so I thought it was a bit lazy. And then obviously Andrew had his 4 Series, and I loved it. I absolutely loved having an automatic.
Mm-hmm.
So now it is kind of like a key factor. It's my must-haves in a car.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got kind of like a make or break.
Yeah.
It has to have parking sensors.
Mm-hmm.
Sat nav.
Yeah.
Sat nav's a deal breaker for me, and automatic really.
Because what's your budget that you're looking at?
My Golf plus £5,000.
Okay, so what are we saying? Like 10 to 12, basically.
Yeah.
So, because that's the thing, a lot of people will think, oh well, every car's got sat nav and parking sensors now. But if you're looking at cars 7 or 8 years old,
Exactly. It's not actually a.
no. And the big problem I find is a lot of cars 7 or 8 years old, like the smaller cars didn't come with automatic very often. Like they had them as an option, but they're quite rare. So I was looking at cars for you. I was looking at the Kia Sportage.
Yeah.
But then you take out all the manuals, and you haven't got a lot left.
There's not, no. And I mean, actually, I found with the Renault Kadjar, I'm just start heading back. I found the Renault Kadjars have got probably quite a few options, and local as well for automatics. Qashqai's got a few, but yeah, the Kia's not many. Audi, obviously, you've got quite a few. I think that's obviously probably big.
But they're expensive.
Exactly. That's the thing. And if I'm looking at sort of like an Audi, I'm going much older, then I can get the others. I did like the Peugeot 3008, but I like the really new model, and obviously that's out of budget.
Too much money. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you rate the big Ranger? Could you ever see yourself owning one of these?
If I never had to park anywhere, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So if you live on a country estate, like, yeah.
If I lived on a country estate, I think it's a fantastic car. I think it's really, really modern and swish. I think it's a lot of money. for me, if I was going to spend the money on a bigger car, I would probably be more leaning towards the Jag, the 4x4 Jag.
Okay, which one? F-Pace?
F-Pace. I do really like the Lamborghini 4x4 as well. But,
Oh no! Oh, they are a lot
so
more.
garish as well. You can get
You
just
are-
the most insane colours. Tart's Palace.
Tart's Palace. Okay, well, evidently being a tart runs in the family because I buy a lot of tarty cars. I'm not by a Urus, but like, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Lamborghini 4x4 if money was no options.
Well, I'm
Tempting.
trying to borrow the RSQ8 from Audi, which is their version of the
Oh,
Urus.
yeah.
So do you want to go in that as well? Do
Yeah.
you? All right, I'll ask him.
I
I'm
do
sure they'll
like
let you.
Audis. We had an Audi A3, 3-door, and that was lovely. I really enjoyed driving that.
What is it you like about the Audis then as a brand?
The drive in that one, it was a really basic model. I
Yeah.
mean, it didn't even have like a media thing like that.
Yeah.
It was literally just radio. But the drive of it, I really enjoyed. It was a manual,
Mm-hmm.
but I just loved the drive of it.
Nice. So what do you think of Range Rover as a brand then?
I love it.
Because you say Jaguar. Do you see Jaguar and Range Rover as different things?
I'd say they're very similar.
Yeah, I mean
But
they are
I
the same
wouldn't-
company.
Yeah, I would say they're very, very similar. I just prefer the shape of the F-Pace.
You want a curvier car?
I do like the curvy cars. Hence, I quite like not the newest model of Sportage, the one before, because that was a bit curvier, wasn't it,
Mm-hmm.
than the one they've just done. Because I find, obviously, a lot of the Rangers are quite boxy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, Andrew really likes the Discovery,
Yep.
which obviously is very boxy, and it does look lovely. But I think that's why I like the Evoque, because that's obviously a bit curvier, isn't it?
It's a bit more feminine.
Definitely. But I think it's lovely styling in here. Really, really nice.
Does it feel expensive? Does it feel
Yeah.
worth the money
Oh,
to
it
you?
feels luxurious.
Yeah.
Very luxurious. And I feel like a bit of a king of the roads, really.
It is quite
Kind of
fun.
want to like drive over some people. Like, you know, over their cars, not over them. You know? You do, you're so high up, you feel like you could just...
Well, there you go. Thank you, Michelle, for joining me on the channel. Really appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
You've done really well.
Thanks.
And so's the little one.
Yeah, she's been quiet. We did
Yeah.
have a baby in here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, well done.